Nate.
What's up, dude?
I was reacquainted with a dear old friend of mine while watching this episode of Eromanga-sensei.
Yeah.
My old buddy Regret.
Yeah,
Came
a
to pay a
friend to
visit.
all of us.
Good Lord, man. I gotta say that during the first 2 episodes of this, it was a fun time. It was a good meme.
Sure,
Good,
yeah.
fun meme. At this point, I'm just like, why the fuck did I put this on myself? Why did I subject myself to this? What did you think of this episode, Nate?
Well, I'm thinking of it as a training exercise. I mean, if you can make it through this, you can make it through anything, right? That's how I'm thinking about it. I was looking for things to say something about, and I was able to scrape together a couple.
I've got plenty.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of notes, as I always do.
Me
I mean,
too.
before we even talk about this episode itself, Nate, I just gotta say, look, in the last podcast, I kept saying that the show was bait.
Right.
That it was a forced meme. That's what I think this show is forced meme the show.
Yeah.
And it's fucking worked. It's working. Have you been on A much lately?
No, I have not.
There's been plenty of Eromanga-sensei threads on A.
I should go familiarize
people
myself. I'd like to know what the people are saying.
People are into the girls. People.
Well,
I just saw. I just
can
went
you
up to. There wasn't a whole lot of threads for episode 3 yet, but I went to one that was why is Elf best girl? And most of the replies are like, haha, yeah, I like Elf too. This show's got the highest pre-order sales so far of the new season.
Oh no! What?
It's looking like a big success.
Well, it's earned it.
The memes. The thing is that the memes worked. All those forced memes from episode 2, like the whole her
penis
saying
thing?
dick.
The whole, yeah.
I've already seen remixes. People making remixes of her saying dick, set to songs and stuff. Just like a whole song of chin chin.
These people have been fucking duped. They have been duped. God.
I've seen, yeah. Everything that they wanted to be a meme has become a meme. The opening and ending dance has been very popular, which rightfully so. The opening and ending dances are fucking cute.
I like the ending dance a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but, all it means is that the show it's everywhere on social media because everyone reposted that fucking dance, It's exactly what it was meant to do.
Yep.
And it succeeded.
That's why you shill out for a good, ending and opening so that people will share that around.
Yeah, man, this is exactly what we saw with the election of Donald Trump. Just memeing your way to the top.
It's true, and
the results are similar.
It's a bright future for all of us, indeed. Yeah. But before next week, I'm gonna go spend some time on A and see what the people say. I don't believe you. How could people possibly be that retarded to think to be you know what it is? Those people did not watch the scene. Anyone entertained by the idea of that, dude, there's an anime girl talking about dicks. They did not watch the scene. They are not aware of the context in which that fell flat.
I mean, obviously, like with any anime on A, there's been plenty of people shitting on it. But with A, how you gauge the popularity of a show is not by what people are saying about it. It's how many threads it has.
That's true.
That's what matters. If a lot of people are talking about it, it means a lot of people are watching it. And a lot of people are giving a fuck, you know?
Yep.
And then other people will watch it just to have an opinion, even if they hate it. So, it's at the time, I mean, it's not... At this very moment, there's not a whole lot of threads about it, but over the course of the week, I saw plenty of threads about Megumi and her fucking dick. Yeah, so... Alright, should I get into my notes, or do you want to get into yours?
No, you can go ahead. Go ahead. I think we should just go through the episode as we always do, and just comment.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
First things first, Megumi organizes, I guess, their whole class to come out and yell for what's her fuck?
Sashimi? I don't know. Sagiri, that's it.
Sagiri, yeah. They all show up at the house and they start yelling for her to come down or whatever. This is, if you're gonna break all semblance of reality and suspension of disbelief, do it in a big way. Do it in a funny way. Do it in a way that makes me go, yeah, haha, that's funny that you've completely warped reality. This could not happen. Like, there's no way she organized this so easily to just have a bunch of kids just decide, hey, I don't know, maybe, abandon your club for today.
Yeah.
You know, because apparently no one in this class has anything to do after school. They've got no obligations. Japanese high school, all the kids are free after class to go excitedly and enthusiastically yell for a girl none of them have ever heard of or give a shit about to come to school.
Dude, you and I both know why they're so excited about this. They're getting head from class president as soon as they're done here. That's what's happening here.
All the boys and girls.
Yeah, everybody across the board.
Just there's something so vapid and cheap. Like, my immediate reaction to this was, this couldn't happen. There's no way.
That's entirely
There's no way
true.
she got the whole class out to do this, and it's not that funny. Like, it's not a big set piece thing. And the weirdest part about it, and I mean funny as in
Strange.
weird, is that it's treated like a set piece because it just happens and then it immediately doesn't matter anymore.
Yep, that's right.
Like, he comes out, he screams a bunch, and the most bizarre moment is he comes out and just starts screeching. I have written down asterisk autistic screeching. Asterisk.
I have something similar, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't unhear this guy as Kirito, having spent as much time with SAO as I have. Like,
this guy's screeches, dude, are burying themselves into my fucking brain. They're so obnoxious every fucking
really
time.
Are. And I think that's just, I feel like it's encouraged, like, before the Sword Art Online movie, like, they had this pre-screener thing, which was very bizarre, where they had, like, each of the Japanese voice actors, like, just say something before the movie started.
Okay.
You know, like, they just came on screen and were like, hey, we're excited about American audience. And when that guy came on, he just kind of, like, kept screaming. Like, I guess that's just what he's known for.
He knows what works, man.
Yeah. But just the level of the scream just seemed so... It went way past comedy into cringe for me.
Of course.
Like, that he came out and just lets out this earth-shaking scream for like 10 seconds and the camera gets right in his face.
And the context is important here, too, because what he's screeching about is the fact that a bunch of his sister's classmates would come out to, like, show their support, to, like, try to help her. And, of course, that ties into, you know, the theory that we're talking about. Like, what he's screeching about is these people are a threat to his control over his little sister. That's what's happening here. He sees them as trying to take her away from his dominance, and, you know, he's freaking out. Literally autistic screeching. He can't have that.
I love your reading of this show.
It's right. That's what it is. That's clearly what it is. Nothing else makes sense because it is so incongruous for this guy to just like take it up to that level. If he's just like what? Like worried they'll hurt her feelings, or I don't even know what he's concerned about. If it's not, you know, his sex slave being removed from his control, I don't get it.
Like the attitude I would have imagined is more of like a, what the fuck?
Sure,
like, what are you guys what are you doing here? Like, what's going on here? Not like a just insane screech.
He's freaking out. He's freaking out that this is happening.
And I have written down, what the fuck are these kids? Because after he screeches and tells them all to leave, they run off like, yeah,
dude, my favorite favorite shot is that just like so fucking vacant, that one still shot panning shot of like all these like perfect kids, just like, yeah, we're fucking teenagers, dude. Everything's great in my life. We're gonna go visit our fucking shut-in classmate. That's so awesome, dude. Fuck yeah. They are not people. These are not people. These are automatons with no souls. That's what they are.
They're acting the way that you would portray like a group of really stoned teenagers, like at an event, just being like, yeah, whoa, yeah, like, you know.
It's true. And furthermore, they operate, you know, maybe this is actually deeper than I thought. They operate like the classical Greek chorus. They are not individuals. They do not exist to you know, have personalities. They exist to represent, you know, a certain idea, an idea of the populace. The populace is here trying to do something. Yeah, they're.
I mean, they all just like
bizarre.
Literally run off in one direction
and, they're so
leave their leader.
About it too. It was bizarre.
And like, what's her name just gets to Megumi just gets to stay. Like she just hangs out to like continue the scene and talk about something totally unrelated immediately. You would think none of that mattered.
You would think that those kids at the very least would like kind of like want to see the girl they're here to see, but like they're content to yell at the side of a house and then leave. They're stoked. They're up for that anytime. They're not even disappointed. They think like we won. We won this fucking game. These fucking dudes.
I just can't get the image out of my head of all of them being like, yeah, as they run up down the street.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking sick. Good scene. Good scene. Well written.
Oh, God.
And yeah,
so
no, go ahead.
You go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and then like, yeah, the abruptness with which we cut to like, oh, by the way, there's some shit. The abruptness with which we cut to like this curse, you know, plot line, was very like big left turn and very strange. I don't know. I feel like this is more of a Japanese thing, cursed houses and I don't know, like weird noises happening next door. Yeah, I don't know. Felt very weird to me. And then it gets into a whole bunch of shit, but I don't want to skip too far ahead.
And pointless, because like that they spend more time setting up this curse idea than the amount of payoff it has.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
The point of it is just a plot device for why he would go over to investigate the piano sound next door. You know,
and set up this super sexy spying scene. Oh, he didn't mean to look in. He had to investigate because his fucking sister told him to. What's he gonna do? He had to see naked girls.
That moment is the first of the 4 times that I just wrote the word no in my notes.
Yeah.
So all right, before we get too far in here, I wanted to explain something. So I've had some comments explaining things to me. I was talking about before how I don't think Eromanga-sensei has that sexy of art. Like, she's supposed to be the master of erotic art, but her art's not that sexy, and I said it should have been like some kind of really well-known erotic artist. Well, people told me that the artist is in fact the guy who does the manga Masamune-kun's Revenge.
Oh, okay.
Which you know, the anime just ended. I did a video about it.
Right.
Which the thing is, I flipped through it in the store because it's out in the U.S. now. The art's not that sexy in Masamune-kun's Revenge. Like, I would say that he draws fairly cute girls, but the fan service is kind of weak, and I just don't think they're like hot. He's definitely not an erotic artist. Like,
yeah, clearly.
Odd choice, I think. And like every time I see her art, I'm just like, this is not what I would imagine if you told me the ultimate erotic artist. And what was much closer to, and I don't know who drew this one, but the person who did the art for Elf's book. Like when they show this girl like bathing in a lake or whatever, that was much sexier.
That was a good shot. I liked it.
You know, it's not even really like my aesthetic or anything, but that looked like a porn artist drew it, you know, or like someone who's known specifically for like how hot their characters are. Like I understand why that book would sell on sex appeal. I don't understand why Eromanga-sensei's art would sell on sex appeal. You know,
that's true. They probably have failed to capture that particular element. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, so
that's like the one piece of art I actually remember from any of these books that we've seen so far.
Yeah, because it was actually kind of hot.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It had that spark. I could imagine seeing that in a light novel and going, oh.
Not to mention the particular scenario that's like around that scene was pretty eyebrow raising, but you know, we can get to that.
So, man, I mean, this whole episode it's you know, it's the Elf episode.
Yeah,
it's about
becoming best friends with Elf.
Yeah, let me try to read this shit I have written down. Before we get to Elf,
dude, wait, I'm sorry. Can I cut in because this note? I've been meaning to say this last couple episodes. It's just this nigga gets hit in the face with the door all the time. It's not okay. It's not okay.
He will die.
He will die. He's gonna, he's getting fucked up. Okay, that's all.
With regards to that scene, he goes into a room, and we immediately cut to the most, like, what the fuck fan service shots imaginable.
Oh my god, like, that ass shot was too deep. It was too deep. I couldn't deal with it.
It was weird, because it's just, like, so in your fucking face. I wrote down non-diegetic fan service because it reminded me of in my video series on K-On! I talk about how in that show there's moments where you see the characters in bathing suits and stuff, but it's all scenes that make sense. They're at the beach. There's a moment where like they point out that Mio's boobs are big because the characters are like talking about it, you know? And it's like you could say this is fan service, but it all kind of makes sense that it's happening. It doesn't really take you out of the experience. Whereas comparatively in Sword Art Online, there's all these moments where it'll just show you Shinon's ass apropos of nothing. It just get in there. That's what this felt like. Is just like whose perspective is this from?
No one's perspective. No one. It's the camera work of a madman who's behind the scenes.
It's one thing if we had like, let's say we see the sister grab onto his chest and then she looks up at him and we get his perspective shot of her looking up, which would be extremely adorable. And you could just kind of see down her shirt a little bit and it would be like perfect because it's putting us in the shoes of the character. Then we now understand why he's got such a boner for this girl because we now have the same boner, you know, and we feel like we're there with him. This shot is just a totally nonsense shot that gets like as many body parts in it as possible. Like it somehow finds a way to involve her ass, tits, and everything. Like the perspective isn't even right. Like it looks warped and fucked up.
I gotta skip to that shot. It's fucking amazing what they did with this shot.
Yeah. I was just I saw it and I was like, yep, well, you know, there we go. Here we are. This is exactly what it is, you know.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm looking at it right now. Holy shit, that's deep as fuck. The clavicle bones. My God. Yeah. Yeah. You can see like all the way up her shirt to like. Oh my. Yeah. This is nuts. This should be the thumbnail. I'm just saying this should be the thumbnail. That's all I'm saying. I'm taking a snapshot. Saving that snapshot. Okay.
Go ahead. Send it to me.
I will.
So, all right, I mean, this fucking elf shit. I mean, half of what half the scene where she was introduced, I kept writing no in bigger and bigger letters because, really, man, like, yeah, she just sits around and plays piano naked because it gets her creative juices rolling, you know? She doesn't know how to draw the curtains, apparently.
It's like they introduced at the same time. Okay, the fact that she plays piano naked, that's like her hobby. It makes her think better or something after taking a bath. And then, like, they also throw in, like, oh, of course she does that. Like, that's the explanation for why the characters did that in the book that we're just learning about now. Oh, wow, okay, that clarifies everything. It's like they introduced things that were supposed to be, like, in a different order at the same time. And, yeah, like, what? No, that's not how you fucking do that. And it's just the most retarded thing I've ever seen. And the whole excuse, like, yeah, it really is just the most obnoxiously not well thought out thing to have like this ghost story thing. And I love that, like, so when when he meets the classmate girl outside in the front and she gives that note and she's like, hey, why was that on your why didn't they deliver that to your mailbox or whatever? He's like, oh, because we got ghosts, because there's ghosts in this neighborhood. And then he explains that. And then, like, as soon as he goes upstairs, it just so happens at this moment the sister was spooked to the max by ghost next door. So, like, these things, wow, what a coincidence that these things lined up so perfectly. And okay, I want to say more about it, but I don't want to talk too much in detail because I've got more complaints about that, but they're more relevant once we go speak.
It's just a nonstop train of contrivance is what it is. It's just as many conveniences in a row as possible. And I mean, sure, stories are about coincidence and convenience, but there's just no reason for it. Like, there's literally no relevance to the haunted house thing other than that it set up this chain of events. Yeah. Like, you know, the author obviously thought, I'm going to have Elf move in next door, and I want to have an excuse for the main character to see her naked. So why would he come to her house not knowing she lived there? Maybe the house is supposed to be haunted. How do I introduce that? Have a character fucking explain it. Just take a whole minute out to explain that. You know, this completely irrelevant detail just so we can spend the next 3 minutes setting up the main character sees Elf naked. Just so we can get that 1 second where we see that little pinch of fat above her above her, you know,
her thigh or whatever.
Yeah, just a little pinch of fat, and that's all that matters.
And
that's
I love, by the way,
figures.
Yeah, like, it's, I don't know how much I need to hammer this into the ground, but, like, so apparently she's been living there for a while. Like, she says, like, oh yeah, upstairs is my studio where I like to write. Okay, so clearly this is, like, a habit you've been doing. So why the fuck has no one seen you here? Why is, like, no one talking about the new neighbor who moved into the haunted house? Like, shouldn't this have been discussed? Wouldn't you have noticed?
How did they not notice her moving into the haunted house?
You'd think
When
you'd
did she
notice.
bring all those desks and papers up there and that printer, that enormous printer?
And do I have to mention how, like, oh, it just so happens that the girl he just met moved in next door a while ago and now lives next door and is the cute girl who's involved in the story? Like, again, contrivance. Got it. Those happen.
Did she move in before or after he met her at the office? Like,
must have been before, right? It seems like she's been here. Like, that was like yesterday, right? Very recently.
I really couldn't get a sense of when she had moved in. Like,
Me neither.
I had no idea.
I tried, and I could not figure it out. It had been a while, though, because she talked about, like, a habit she had of you know, like, writing upstairs in her studio. But then when you get upstairs, you see that there's boxes everywhere. So she might have moved in, like, that day. And
yeah, that's what I had thought. I had thought she'd moved in, like, just now, but then she's already naked playing piano day one. I don't know, man.
I'm trying
How'd the boxes get past him? How did he not notice that happening?
That's a good question. I'm skipping around to the scene at the end where they're, like, hang out in her office talking. I'm curious if all the boxes are unpacked now, because if so, that would mean she unpacked in one day, and that she had only been there for a day. And
no, he stays in her room for a week.
Oh, that's right. It had been a week, hadn't it? Okay, yeah. You're right. That's more reasonable.
All right, so here's the next moment of just get a face palm. So she's like, yeah, I'm so famous and rich as a light novel author. I've bought a family home in a urban area. Isn't that impressive for a 14-year-old?
Oh my god, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, she's 14.
How old is
Why does everybody have to be 14?
Well,
is it just that it would be? Is it just that we can't imagine the main character getting with a girl if they're over 14? You know, like, is that all it is?
Is that what our main character? I mean, is that what the girl is? Sagiri? Is she 14 too? I can't remember.
I think she's around there.
She's around there. Whatever.
They're all around 14.
You know who was a good 14-year-old? Nina Mori. Nina Mori was a good 14-year-old. You know, I think she's all grown up.
Wasn't she only 12?
I thought she was 14. Oh shit, you're right. Okay, well, never mind. Forget that. I hate children.
I mean,
published author, world-renowned, getting an anime, is writing for an anime, 14-year-old girl, Elf Yamato.
She had to have been doing this for years by now, right? Like, she's already got... She's got a continuing series. I don't know if it's her first one, but I mean, the main character indicated that he read it, you know...
At least a year ago. At least a year ago.
Yeah. So she's already a extremely successful writer, but, like, she's... Can you imagine as a 14-year-old, you do something really creative, you become exceedingly successful at it, and your first thought is, I'm gonna buy a house! I'm just gonna buy a fucking house for myself to hang out in and write
I can't imagine
and play
any
naked
scenario
piano.
In which I'd do that.
I can't, like, this character is just, like, baffling to me. Like, she's just whattever. Whatever she is, she's just that. I guess she's like a bratty kind of, I don't know, is she spoiled? Is she rich? I mean, she's rich now on her own merits,
kind of
but was she rich before? Why does she dress up in these, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Who the fuck is this bitch? Why does she have a house at 14? Who the fuck is a 14-year-old and just buys a house in the suburbs? I mean, I can even imagine if she was buying it, like, in the heart of Tokyo, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like, I can kind of imagine... I mean, maybe she wants a big house just so she can run around and traipse around in her big house. This is just such a... Can you even sell a house to a 14-year-old?
Well, I mean, we could perhaps assume that her parents' name is on the lease, or something like that. Maybe. Probably not. But then again, the age of consent in Japan is 14, as I recall. So who knows what else the fuck you can do at 14? You're grown up already.
Her parents let her move into a house at 14. Let her buy and move into a house.
Knowing full well that she loves to traipse around naked and leave the windows open and just, you know, not give a fuck about anything.
And invite boys she barely knows.
I'm just saying, this girl was playing piano naked with the windows open and just didn't give... She was asking for it. She was asking to get peeped. That's all I'm saying.
It's just so many leaps and bounds that you have to make to even try to, like, think of this character as a person at all.
That's true.
Like, to even begin to process it. Like, when she was introduced, I really wasn't expecting her to be a major character because she seemed like such a gimmicky, one-note kind of personality that she was, like, this way over-the-top, bratty kid author. But now they're trying to, like, give her this other kind of deeper angle and have, like, some emotional dialogue between her and
She's the Kuroneko of this show, for sure.
Someone said that on A.
Yeah,
I saw that. How?
And she does not deserve it. She does not deserve this position.
Kuroneko Kuroneko was just some kid.
Yeah.
She was a little older even than the sister. She was the older brother's age. In this case, everybody's the same age for some reason. But, like, yeah, Kuroneko, like, was a feasible person. And part of the joke with her was that her home life was totally normal. Like, she was just putting on a character, but, like, you know, she was just some kid. This girl is just like...
She bought a house, Dad! I bought a fucking house today! What about that shit? Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, man. So... And then I wrote down showing their naked hand because she literally says to him, like, yeah, just have the characters take off their clothes and the book's gonna sell, you know? Guys can't resist a naked girl. And I'm like, so, okay, is that just you explaining why she was naked playing piano? Because I could have figured that out.
But then, the guy who's clearly, like, the good guy, like the good writer who's got, like, integrity or something, like, he's like, that's bullshit. No, you should never do that. Never just, like, have your characters naked for no reason. It's like, what? What are you trying to tell me?
What I thought he was trying to get at, but I wasn't entirely sure because they didn't go deeper into it. I thought he was trying to say that, like, the nudity, like, you have to keep it mysterious. Like, you have to tease out the nudity, not just have characters get naked immediately. Yeah. Because I've seen that argument in plenty of anime before, where a character will explain, like, how the panty shot is you know, it's all about the briefness of it, like, that you can't have it, and that makes you want it more, you know? So just throwing nudity out there, but then it's obviously working, so I don't know what the fuck he's on about.
Like, I get that the character of Elf is to just be naked. Like, it's stretching it to say that's her character, but, like, she's into that shit, and she lives that life. She's living that life every day in the streets. So I guess that's cool, but it just seems like yeah, it's doing something that's shitty, and like, it is boring. It is shitty to just have someone naked for no reason, to just get that thrown in your face. I'm with this dude on this point anyway.
I have written down, fuck this garbage animation zooms, because this show looks like dog shit, but there's moments where it does these fucking goofy-ass camera zooms because nothing's actually moving on the screen, but something has to move for, like, a reaction moment. Right. So the camera will just, like, zoom out really fast. And there's one of them... I always hate zooms in anime because of the fact that when you get in close on the character, you can see the rough... Yeah, you can see the rough outlines and stuff. And so there's moments like that, moments where just nothing's moving when it should be, or things move jankily and awkwardly. The show just looks like shit outside the OP and ED.
You're right.
There's a moment when they go into her office. Did you notice the sign on the door?
Did not. What's it say?
It's in English.
Or maybe oh wait, it said, like, Dark Moon Room or something, right?
Something like that. It's not what it said, though. It's that it was in Comic Sans.
No way. No way. I did think it was weird that it was all, like, lowercase letters and weird looking. I gotta look at that again. I'm
fairly certain it was Comic Sans. You can check. It might be a very similar typeface, but it looked like fucking Comic Sans, and I honestly couldn't believe it.
I'm looking right now.
I sat there for a minute, and I was like, is this just... Did the subtitlers do this? Like... Was this an
That's
edit?
A good question.
But
no, that's in the anime. That's burnt into this anime.
Yeah,
I think
it looks like shit. Like, it looks like it was just written on like in Photoshop. You know, it doesn't look like it was drawn onto the background. It looks like they just like stamped text on there, and it's totally Comic Sans, I think.
It's close, if not exactly. But yeah, it's hardly something I'd use as like my fucking plaque I put on my door for my office moonside
Especially
room.
like a character like this who's all about like these flowery dresses. She's got like this Chunibyo book and everything. You'd think she'd go for like the overly ostentatious cursive, you know?
Yep.
Not this weird, hideous shit.
They ran out of time, dude. They used the first font they had on file.
And on that note, how fucking fast does Elf just become the best friend of main character guy?
He leaves one day. They're having a fight. They're having a rivalry.
Yeah.
He shows up the next day. Instant best friends. Best friends.
Shit. So far, they met at the office and they both hated each other. Then he sees her naked, so she's mad at him.
Yep.
He comes into her house. They argue back and forth. They get into a fight. Yeah, and then he shows up the next day, and she's waiting outside for him, all happy-go-lucky, like, oh man, my new writing buddy.
She like
so
fell
cool.
in love
We're
with
best
him
pals.
What
the fuck?
She fell in love on a scene we didn't see or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
she just decided. I mean,
As soon as I saw her waiting outside, I was like, why is she there? What is going on? What has changed? It was bizarre.
Yeah. And the thing is that I could easily understand it. They just didn't explain it.
Right.
Because what I would imagine is that she's excited to have someone else who writes around, and she, like, you know, she's the kind of person who's kind of pushy and shares her opinion, but she likes the camaraderie. I know a lot of people like this. I know a lot of otaku like this, you know, they'll tell you how shit you are and how every opinion you have on anime is the worst, and they'll just rag on you all day and night and then buy you a fucking beer because you're anime fans. But they don't present it that way. She just kind of suddenly likes him after like no indication at all, and then she's just like friendly and nice,
and he also reciprocates
inviting.
Just easily in kind. He's just like, yeah, we're best friends. Of course we're best friends. I feel like there was a cutscene. It's really strange.
Yeah, maybe something in the original novel didn't get translated to the anime. I would not be surprised.
Or like maybe like they treat it like he shows up and she's waiting and they're instantly in love. Maybe there was like something else that happened. Like they, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what could have possibly happened to make this change.
Super fucking bizarre, man.
Yeah.
So when she says like, I'm gonna contact Eromanga-sensei, I'm gonna figure out her real identity and divulge it, and he's all like freaking out and stammering like, oh no, I hope she doesn't figure it out. Why doesn't he just say, like, because her concern is, how are they going to send the manuscripts to Eromanga-sensei if they don't know who it is? Why doesn't he just say, oh, I know who they are, but I can't tell you because they want it to be confidential?
I guess he's scared that any information will lead back to his sister, I guess. And I guess he wants to protect her identity because she seems to value her privacy.
Maybe he can just say, I met him once at the publishing company, and, you know, he's very secretive. I respect his identity.
I really think this. I think a real part of this guy's character is that he's retarded. I think he is actually really not fast on the uptake. I believe that sincerely.
I mean, he's just a light novel guy. They're all like this. They never have they never think before they say something. They never come up with like a rational they never have the rational reaction. They always have this insane scheming, I have to react over the top and freak out because I guess it's supposed to be funny, but it just pisses me off. It just makes me think, how are you so fucking stupid?
Yeah.
How can you not just do the obvious thing, you know?
Playing it cool is not something they're capable of doing.
I also have the note that just says gay. I'm guessing this is in regards to when he was like giving his spiel about how he was like, oh, your novel made me realize that life's worth living or something.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
Who cares?
It's like, of all, I don't know, it's like another contrivance, like, oh, okay, so her book was the one he found, you know, that time that made him happy when he was sad.
Do you really think this is the first time she's heard this from someone?
Yeah.
Like, big popular author, probably gets lots of fan mail. You'd probably read about her stuff online. probably used to hearing people say that her novel saved lives, which she does say, like, okay, I like to imagine all my books have made 100,000 people cry, you know, but like...
You know what, to defend her a little bit on that point, I do think that it is different when one of your, basically a peer, is talking about how moved they were by your work. Because maybe she thinks, like, okay, this guy I give a shit about. This guy actually at least can do something. Although she doesn't
seem to respect his content, so, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's just better. It's better than a fan. Maybe there's the time someone she has any kind of respect for, because obviously she doesn't have that for a lot of people, has said anything like this. So, you know, I even am gonna be so generous as to say I even sort of get why romance could bloom at a moment like that, when someone that she has respect for says, like, yeah, I really liked your work, or it you know, it touched me in this way. Like, oh, that is fine.
I'll
that is
touch
fine.
you in that way. No,
by the way, about this point when this, you know, he got really sad and was talking about that, I have to bring up what probably was my favorite moment in the entire episode. So when he's talking about this, how her manga, like, saved his life or whatever, you know, helped him out when he was feeling blue, he mentions, like, 2 tragic events, okay? So the first one, he's at, like, a funeral. Like, the parents died. Yeah. The parents died. And that was kind of a bummer, okay? That was kind of a bummer. But the second event, and he states clearly, even worse than that. So much worse than that.
Did he say that?
He says it, dude. He says it. It's him standing at the door of his new little sister who he has met one time. And he's like they're implying that, like, oh, he couldn't, like, go in and talk to his sister now. Like, that was the real tragedy in his life, that he couldn't fucking get into his sister. I'm telling you, this is not just me. He's trying to hit that. He's doing whatever. That's what he's all about. That is this character. He just wants to be close to this girl and fucking be all up on her shit all the time. It's more important to him than the lives of his fucking parents. Oh, it's real. I'm telling you, it's real. That confirmed it. There's no debate. In no uncertain terms. It says something bad happened, and then something actually bad happened. I'm not making it up.
That's incredible.
It was amazing. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I wrote down, you don't have to be like that. I don't know what I meant by this. Oh, I remember now. Yes, okay. I should have been more specific with this note. So there's this moment where they're looking at Sagiri in her room, and she's like just having a fucking ball. She's like singing and throwing her fucking arms in the air while she's drawing this picture, and Elf like wistfully looks at her and it's like, ah, yes, you really have to be like that as an artist. Like, it's the only way that you still got your spark, is if you're like that. And I'm like, no, you don't have to be literally, like, singing and merrily dancing while drawing to prove that you're having a good time. You know,
I feel like this anime is introducing the concept of, like, doing work, period, to children. And, like, it's like, yeah, just have fun with it, guys. Just go crazy when you're writing your fucking light novel or making your erotic fan fiction. Like, just go nuts with it.
She didn't look like she was getting any work done, honestly. Like, she just looked like she was fucking around. And I was just thinking, like, you know, when I'm, like, really passionately in the grind, that's not when I'm like that. That's when I'm, like, fucking buckled down, hands on keyboard, nonstop typing, you know, only getting up so I can smoke and fucking think about what I'm about to write again, and then get back in and just it's all, you know, and any artist I've seen is like that.
I'm thinking about what it looks like when I watch Ben draw, and he doesn't do that shit. He does not do that shit.
He throws on some podcasts, and he just fucking gets on the tablet and does not stop. Like, that's, to me, like, what she was doing is what you do when you're, like, live streaming while drawing, or you're just like fucking around. Yeah, like, you're just fucking around, you're just kind of doing something fun or casual, or you're just like, I'm bored and I have to, like, work through this kind of difficult part. I'm just doing shading, who gives a fuck, you know? And so you just have fun with it, and you take, like, 3 times longer than you normally would. The moments when you're passionate, when you're, like, in the fucking zone, it does not look like that, you know?
Well, you know, that's the weird thing, because I'm getting mixed signals as to whether or not Elf knows what the fuck she's talking about. And,
I am too, man.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising because she's 14, but I have written down, I can tell this show's thoughts on creativity will piss me off.
Yeah. Oh, they so do later on in the episode. So bad, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Elf explicitly is of the opinion.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
That if your creative output is work, then you're doing it wrong.
Oh, no. This bitch. At least the guy is like, dude, what the fuck? At least he gets it, that that's not correct. That he storms out or something.
We haven't gotten yet to know how the show feels about it, and that's what I'm concerned about.
That's true. It's right now it's open for debate in the show, it seems.
Yeah, because Elf then says to him at the end, like, oh, you want to see me work? Then come on tomorrow. And she's like wearing a maid outfit at the end, which I just wrote no once again.
And she's like, okay, an SI, or whatever the welcome home thing is. I don't know why she said that, but whatever.
Yeah, so she's of the opinion that work... Like, it should always be just when you're passionate. Like, you should only write in the moments when you're super into it, when it's just pure creativity. Yeah. And she even openly says, like, I do this as a side job. This is just a hobby. And that's the right way to do it. It shouldn't be work.
What the fuck is her main job, is what I was wondering when she said that. Like, being a student? 14, being a 14-year-old girl, I guess? Yeah, okay. All right, fine.
But
nigga, you bought a house. Commit. Just fucking commit. Come on.
Yeah, but so if the show also takes that position, fuck this show.
We're gonna throw hands. There's gonna be some hands thrown at my screen.
Show. Because of course you should only work if you're inspired. You know, you shouldn't make it. It shouldn't suck. Yeah. You know, like if it sucks for you, that's gonna become apparent probably. I mean, I don't know. There's probably some artists who make great shit and hate every moment of it. What do I know?
Tom, you know, for example.
Well, Tom's videos, you can tell he's fucking agonizing in some of those, you know. Partly because he says so.
That's true. But, that's a bit of a tip.
Yeah. But you can make stuff like because you feel the need to put food on the table that is great. It can be a great motivator. You know, most of my videos are written when I wake up from the drunken stupor of doing whatever I want and decide to do actual work. You know, like when I make some shitty vlog that no one cares about, that's retarded, that's me working because I felt a random pang of passion and just decided to do something as a side thing. When I like make an actual edited video that's good and like interesting and wide reaching, that's because I decided, hey, it's time to work,
and you know what,
it's time to be an adult.
Yeah, well, even with that, I would say that I sort of see where she's coming from, but something like, for example, you know, my Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer video was something that I just made up on a whim, the idea to do it, and like one day, oh yeah, I guess I'll do this thing, and then spent 2 months every single day grinding away at it to get it done, and you know, so like. Fuck this bitch. Like, I feel like she's never worked a day in her life, despite being like an incredibly successful author. She doesn't understand what it means to work on something, and of course that's gonna be fucking frustrating.
Which is fucking weird, because like, even if you were the most like flight of fancy person in the world, you would understand that when it comes to actually creating it, it will be, it's you know, it's something you gotta work on.
Yeah,
you don't just like fucking literally crank it out in 10 seconds and then you didn't even care, you know?
See, that's
like,
the show
I just
doing
don't
that
get
thing
where
again.
She's coming from.
That's the show doing this thing again, where it's like kind of deceptively, I feel like it's misleading people as to like what it's like to make things, what it's like to be a writer or an artist. I feel like it's painting a more rosy picture of that, as well as like, you know, being a hiki and all that shit. I feel like it's, I don't know, it's painting a more positive picture, or a more like fun or not realistic picture. And like, I guess you're allowed to do that, but I'm certainly not going to like it.
And I mean, I don't want it to seem like when we did the first episode, people were saying that, like, you know, we were kind of getting hung up in, or at least I was getting really hung up in my own, like, preconceived notions about hikikomoris and stuff like that. But why this all bothers me isn't that it's unrealistic. It's that it's unbelievable. It's that I don't understand how these characters can exist. Like, how do you become this kind of person while having this personality? Like, you can't just have like a totally flighty personality that nothing matters to you and also be like a prolific best-selling author. You know, like those.
Is there any author in the world? Is there any author in recorded history that has operated like this girl ever? Has there ever been one? I would seriously doubt it. Like people bring up like
if
Mozart,
you're 14,
right? Mozart's
then
like
yes, but you're not going to be successful.
Mozart's like the genius creator, right? Like, but he worked his whole life to be good. And I mean, I'm reaching, but I assume he had a pretty decent work ethic. Yeah, fuck this bitch.
Well, that's the thing, like, because again, it's like I said, when you actually work on something, no matter how much of a genius you are, when you're doing the work, it looks like a guy with his nose to the grindstone. Right. A guy putting the stuff to paper. It does not look like a girl singing and dancing while drawing a picture.
Hey, maybe that's this girl. Oh, maybe that's the show being smarter than we're giving it credit for. Because to see her being like looking at Eromanga or whatever the girl's name, like dancing around, like having such fun. That's this girl actually being into the wrong kind of mindset, and that will ultimately be her downfall in this contest between the two. Could they be making that point? I don't know.
Like, what I was expecting to happen was that we'd find out, like, because she was being lazy, and I was expecting to find out that, like, when she actually works, then it's intense. Like,
we
she
have
just
never
has
seen
lots
her work
of great
hard,
ideas.
Ever.
That she's just, like, rushing with great ideas, and she just, like, puts pen to paper, just nonstop cranks shit out for, like, 12 hours, and then she's, like, sweating and fucking shit afterwards.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what we're gonna get. We haven't seen it yet.
I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. That should have been in episode 1.
If we get this weird maid cafe, whatever the fuck's about to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know where this is going. I don't know what her creative process is going to look like, but I'll be waiting to see it. I only have one other note, which is it just says that cut, because there's this one cut where she's laying on the couch.
Playing Nintendo Switch. I caught that. Nicely done.
She's laying on the couch and her head is facing to the right side of the screen, and then in the very next shot, it's her sitting up with her head on the other side of the screen.
I noticed that one.
Really jarring.
That. Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, what happened?" This show's just terribly directed. You have any other notes, Nate?
I did want to point out one thing. I keep noticing this every fucking time. Like, there was another like funny scene where the music had like. It's a music note, right? So, like, they're having, like, a funny scene, and the song plays, and then it, like, ends, and, like, it does the big, like, crescendo, where they're, like, beep, 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 at the end of that song, and then, like it was, like, a new sort of joke being made, but then, like, another funny song started, and they did, like, another funny song. It never fucking ends.
No escape! No escape! Where's the exit?
I can't find it! I felt like that was just like another one of these baffling. It's the comedy scenes. I don't know what's up with their fucking director of like the music for these comedy scenes, but they're fucking it up bad. And I don't know. They need to get their shit together. Other than that, I was really annoyed by her lack of focus. I can't state enough how annoyed I am that this girl is so successful despite putting in apparently no work. And I know we already talked about it, but it really, really fucking grinds my gears.
I knew it would piss you off because you work harder than anybody just to get just to get the smallest product out there.
Yeah,
you fucking grind at something for 2 goddamn months, and this girl's just like, I'll work when I feel like it.
Bitch, no, work every fucking day of your life. God, this fucking bitch. You don't know this girl does not understand what it means to create something. She doesn't get it. And that's what I'm talking about. This is that thing where we're presented with this girl as if she's like able to do these things and to be like a fucking magical cute girl. No, this is lying to people. This is not the real life. And what this is it's making people like me look like a fucking asshole. It's like, why don't you just fucking just fucking whip up something at a moment of inspiration? That's a fucking lie. Don't buy into the propaganda. I have to work so fucking hard to make anything every fucking day of my life. Don't listen to Eromanga-sensei. It's propaganda for the wrong cause. Fuck this bitch. Fuck this show. Oh God, what's next episode gonna be like? What am I gonna have to sit through next episode? What's it gonna be?
I don't know, man. I can't believe this is our longest episode yet.
Really?
What, episode 3?
Oh my God,
we're almost 50 minutes. This show's given us a lot more than I thought we'd have to say about it, man.
I guess so. It's just all the personal offenses are really keeping me going in this show.
That's the shocking part, is how much of it is like, it's not just that you did it, it's that you did it to me.
Yeah. Fuck One Piece, am I right? Fuck working hard on shit. Yeah. Fuck you, Eromanga. God damn it.
Yeah, it's like a personal attack on you.
I feel victimized. I feel victimized by this anime.
All right,
I'm done. I'm tapped.
Probably one of the worst shows we're ever going to watch to completion. So
I think so.
Join us next week for more suffering.
See you then, folks.